Hey, welcome back to Tech with Ratan. This is Ratan. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about some of the tech stuffs that I've been figuring out these days. I am a Django instructor. I run my YouTube channel where I teach Python and Django, and also I have 50 to 60,000 students on Udemy. So when you were learning Django, I'm sure you might have heard of this, top tech companies that are using Django, right? So Google is using Django, NASA is using Django, and so many other companies, other big companies are using Django, and one of them is Instagram, right? So I'm sure you have heard of this. Instagram is using Django. So in my videos, like in my previous YouTube videos, I've told this that Instagram is using Django. But today in 2026, does Instagram really uses Django? Like, if yes, how much Django is being used? Because Instagram is huge. It's huge, like 3 billion monthly users on Instagram. You see, it's kind of a next level application, right? So does Instagram really uses Django? Let's find that out in this video. So Instagram started in 2010 by just two people, just two guys, Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger. So at that time, they wanted to build an MVP, right? They had this photo app on their mind. So they just wanted to build an MVP, and they just wanted to ship it, or just wanted to deploy it very quickly, very fast, right? So that's when they realized Django is the best framework to build an application fast and deploy it fast. So the main reason why people love Django is because Django gives you a lot of features inbuilt. It's kind of a ready-made functionalities you're getting. You get authentications out of the box, and you get admin panels. You get a lot of things, right? You get middlewares, and you don't have to build those features, because if you keep writing authentication system for your app, then it's going to take weeks and weeks of time, right? But this whole Instagram application, I'm talking about MVP, they built it in just 8 weeks. Can you imagine? Just 8 weeks, the MVP is ready because of the power of Django, right? So anyway, they picked Django because they wanted to build something very fast and deploy it very fast. So that's the reason they really picked Django. And on the day one, can you imagine how many users or how many signups they got on the first day of launching Instagram? Just imagine how much. Like, they got 25,000 signups on the day one. 25,000. And in just 1 week, they were trending on Twitter. And in just 2 months, they got 1 million users. 1 million users. And still, they were using Django, right? That architecture was kind of really. And you know what? Django, Instagram is famous for scaling the Django to the next level. I saw one conference clip where one of the Instagram early engineer was talking. He was saying that in few months of launching Django, like maybe in just 8 to 9 months of launching Instagram, they got 5 million users, and they were still using Django.
By June, July 2011, Instagram had about 5 million users. At this point, all of these 5 million users, all of their data was stored in PostgreSQL and accessed via the Django ORM. They did use vertical partitioning by model to allow storage in multiple databases. So there was a database for users, one for media, one for likes, one for comments, etc.
Right? They were still using Django, and for the database, they were using PostgreSQL, and for the deployment, they used EC2 servers, AWS EC2 servers, right? And they also used something called Memcached and Redis for the caching. And for error monitoring, they were using something called a Sentry. And the fun part is, Sentry is also a Django app. It's kind of Django is monitoring Django, right? So that were the kind of scenarios, the kind of architecture they had. Like for the background task, they were using a Celery with the RabbitMQ. Celery with the RabbitMQ. Like, why background tasks are needed? That's because, you see, when someone likes your photo, you will get the notification, right? So that is actually that's actually a background task that's being run one, when someone likes your photo, when something is being posted, then you will get, the follower will get the email or some kind of a notification, right? So those are some of the background tasks they were using, or they were handling, using Celery and RabbitMQ. All right. And for likes, now when you talk about likes and comments, right? So the moment you click the like, right, so the API calls, I mean the DRF used to trigger, and that like will go to your Postgres database, and then that used to keep on increasing, right? So that kind of architecture. And comment also used to go to the database. So the whole thing was actually being used, being handled by Django itself, right? And recently I also came to know that Instagram is the largest Django deployment in the world. Yes, you can just Google it, right? So it is the largest Django deployment in the world. And one of the Instagram engineers was asked, why didn't you switch to some other framework? Why didn't you switch to some other programming language? So what they said is, our engineers love Python, and Python is the reason why people join us and why people love to work with us. So you see the power of Python, right? So Python programming. So today in 2026, 3 billion monthly users are on Instagram. And of course, it's not at all small, right? Even though Instagram has scaled Django to the next level, right? But still they need some other services. Like, they are now, Instagram is full of microservices. They are using Go, they are using fast APIs, and also they are using PyTorch for their AI recommendations and machine learning things. And they are like Django is still there, but the thing is, they have built some other things, other technologies around Django, right? The thing is, Django is still a backbone of Instagram. So with this video, I just wanted to let you know, guys, that don't think too much about choosing a framework or choosing something like wasting time on meetings, whether which one to choose, right? So the only thing I just want to convey is that if your goal is to do something with the AI or machine learning or some kind of agents these days, right? So if that is your goal, just go with Python. You have Flask, you have fast API, you have Django, right? Choose the one that you think is best for you. And if you ask me, I will choose Django for like at least 70 to 80% of the applications, because so many things are already built in. And when, as if you are a business owner and you want to build something, like, of course you will not be building a huge thing, a huge application in one go, right? You'll definitely want to go with the MVP, right? If that is your goal, like MVP is your goal, then go with Django. Stick to Python. Okay, next 20 years, just stick to Python and you will see the magic. So that's it for this video. If you like this video, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.